Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I'm perfectly aware that I have decided to stop making YouTube videos, and yet this is a YouTube video. Quite naturally, I meant not doing any more stop motion, not doing anything more on the Bionicle channel. This is the second Bionicle channel. Totally different. Blah, blah, blah. How are we all doing? I certainly hope you're doing well. This is a stylist. Don't know why I'm doing that. Anyways, so, everybody, thank you so much for watching the last video on my main channel. It was quite lovely. It made me very happy. As you can see from the title from this one, I am just procrastinating to the actual discussion that I was actually going to make regarding this video and whatnot. Quite lovely. Thank you all for the support that you all put on the video. It's quite lovely. It's not going to make it so that it can continue, but it's fine. I don't even care. I just love you people. You people are lovely. And there were some people, I just have to, quick tangent. There were some people that didn't quite understand why it is that it would have to go viral in order for me to continue making those videos. If you can just direct those people to this video. If not, they've already been directed to the other videos that explain it. Long story short, those videos take about 3 months to create, 3 months of 40 hours a week, and that is a lot of time, and to do so much work in so much time, or so much work in such little time, requires some sort of benefactor. Otherwise, that would make it so that I'm not capable of sustaining myself, and that's not tolerable. Therefore, aka, too much work, don't make money off of it, can't continue as a hobby, because that's not how life works. Let's move on. Alright, so first of all, oh my gosh, gotta see this collection, makes me very happy. First of all, got all the Bionicle books, and I'm about to get all of the Bionicle, whatchamacallums, not comics, though I am getting a couple of those, comic books, graphic novels, about to get all the graphic novels, and then here are all of the encyclopedias, as well as those little reader books, and this is the hard copy of the first, like, 6, Bionicle comics, and then most people don't even know this book exists. Very cool. Makuda's Guide to the Universe. Quite a lovely book. Anyways, yeah, I've gotten into nerding, started reading all the books again. Anyways, back to the actual conversation as to what I am going to be discussing. This is my review of what I think about the next 2015 Bionicle line. Here we go. So, now, if everybody wants to skip to 240, that is where we start. So, we look at the new Bionicle line. We see this. As you can tell, I totally molested Lua, and he looks nothing like he did before. Gave him some axes and put the guns on the back, because that just, Lua's my babe, and so making him better than everybody else is sort of my end result goal in life. And I had a friend that wanted to put a Fenrac's cape on Kopaka, and so we just kept it on there, because why not? But other than that, Kopaka is unchanged, and Tahu just has a few adjusted CCBS components, but really that's it. And also, I extended his, whatchamacallums, his shins, because they looked like they were just trying to be way too flat on his body. But other than that, that's kind of, they're all remotely still canon, except for that one. That one's still fully canon, except for the cape. Whatever. Moving on. Okay, so, if you look at all of these, what are my personal opinions? Well, I would say, one, they actually do look quite legitimately awesome. I will give you that much. The fact that they have now added this component piece very specifically makes it so that they're kind of slowly reeling back into the whole entire Bionicle feel of things, which is very nice. The whole entire concept of slowly getting back into that biological feel of mechanical things as opposed to just robots, that's nice, and I'll be understanding of Lego that they have to still make sure that they are capable of putting beans on the table and still using old molds for new ways, so like using stuff such as the old CCBS pieces in order to maintain the Bionicle feel at the same time, which is well done. And then as for the great swords, I absolutely love the great swords. That was a brilliant idea. These are the only 3 Toa I have, by the way. I didn't go get the rest. I might get Bohatu, but as for that, that's as many as I'm getting. And I went and got 2 protectors. But blah, blah, blah. Moving on. So, other pluses. What else do we have? Oh, the masks. I absolutely love the masks for the most part. I'll give the criticisms I have on them in a moment. The whole entire like idea of very specifically Lua's, and with Lua's design where it makes it so that it actually looks like a Bionicle mask instead of just kind of a rendition of some sort of attempt to reuse Hero Factory stuff. I like that very much. One thing I do like specifically about using the CCBS system for the new Bionicles is that it makes it so that you can swap in and out all kinds of different armor pieces and yet still kind of maintain that canon Bionicle look that looks like the original Toa that they came out of the boxes as, which I like very much. For instance, you can hardly tell that Tahu has been like almost completely remodeled with all of his different pieces, and yet he still looks like Tahu. So it makes it so that you can still have the whatchamacallums. You can still have the Toa looking like Toa as they came out of the box, but you can make them kind of your Toa. I really like that ability to customize it ever so perfectly, and yet being able to maintain that originality of the set. Yes, let's see. What else do I have? The kind of bulkiness that they have put specifically on Kopaka and Tahu I like very much. They sort of made it definitely so that each set was very individualized, and I liked that very much. As for Lua, is like he was all slanky and whatnot. I personally didn't like it, so I totally duped him up. But also at the same time, it made it so that the whole entire ability to combine the protectors with the Toa gave it all that more of a reason to do so, which was a very good idea. I thought that was well done by LEGO. And what else do we have? Let's see. For the most part, I like the way that they all had designed the armor platings and whatnot for the shoulders very specifically, how they're all very different and yet all sort of the same, where they still maintain that like heroic style, and yet at the same time the arm actually starts here as opposed to starts up here. It's like this great illusion. I use that sort of thing on a Rookshi over here, where it looks like his arm starts up here when in reality it starts down here. But that whole entire concept makes it so that the arms have more of a they aren't slanky, but at the same time they still maintain their size that you desire. And then of course bringing back the twisties so that they can go and hack and slash. Some different than others. I absolutely love that. I love the originality of every single backpack piece and how almost all of them are different, as opposed to all them all being the same, as in like every single set has a different way of doing the exact same thing. Like Lua and Tahu do not have the same backpack piece, yet they both do the exact same sort of thing. Well, okay, rephrase. They both have the same backpack piece, but the way that the gears are designed on the inside are not the same, and I thought that that was a very cool way of just doing that. And then what else? That is pretty much all for the pluses. The minuses that I have is that, one, there are a couple of places that seem to need more detail that do not possess it. For instance, Lua right here. There is another Hero Factory torso body piece that has a little ripples right here, just like Kopaka's does, except for it's a little bit different. I think it's red, but you know, they could always make one that's green, and I think that Lua needed that, along with a couple of the other Toa, like for instance Tahu almost needs it, but he doesn't really need it. Kopaka doesn't have, blah blah blah. So one criticism I have is that there seems to be a few places that seem to be lacking detail in places that seemed to need it more than others. A few of the criticisms I have also involve the reuse of Hero Factory pieces, but in exactly the same ways that they did it before. For instance, with Tahu's like bootleg cut things, they made it so that they were put flat onto his shins, just like in Inferno XL, I think it is. And that was an absolutely disgusting look, and I absolutely hated it, and made me very unhappy, as in like it made it so that his shins didn't look big and bulky. It didn't look like he was having this big piece of armor. It kind of looked like he was having a piece of paper on the whatchamacallums, a piece of paper on his shins. Another thing, speaking of stuff down there, feet. Lego, please start working on a new foot design. I really, really don't like this. Specifically because of the way that it like curves down right here. It makes it so that every single time that you have pieces that do not come straight down to the spot that Kopaka's and Lua's does, then it makes it, or Tahu's for that matter, I made them all like that, because I really don't like this gap right here, and it makes it so that it just kind of has a rendition of flatness towards it. My big criticism will be about flatness for the most part. There are just some spots that should have some sort of detail that are just flat. As for playability, though, there is a couple criticisms I have regarding. One is Tahu, is that as you're trying to spin his dealio majiggers, these suckers get in the way sometimes, and with Lua, the same thing with these things, as well as, you know, head turnability. Everyone's already talked about that. But another really big one is that the way that the sets are made, it makes it so that all the parts that you used to be able to remember to turn ever so easily every single time that you try to do it, everything just kind of falls apart, and that tends to get really annoying really quickly, especially with the arms. The arms are designed so that they go into the backpack and whatnot, except for the issue is that they're not very well secured because they don't have anything except for the gearbox keeping them on the other side, and it makes it so that they ever so easily like to slip off quite a bit. And then also this piece, right, actually there's a better one right here. This piece right here tends to get on everybody's nerves, where it makes it so that every single time that you try to turn the legs will just pop right off, and this thing will be all that remains, and you're constantly trying to put it all back on. Then my final criticism is about ratios. These new Bionicles do not perform the Bionicle ratio. If you wonder what I am talking about, let us take a moment and look at Motunui right here. As you can tell, when you kind of look at him, the body type that he has a very specific grouping of different measurements for things like legs, torso, arms, etc., where things are definitely a bit more slanky, a bit more open. There's a lot more size to the limbs and whatnot, and the body tends to kind of maintain a smaller size but a higher complexity. Yes, I did mod him a little bit. There's a little hand right there instead of its other thing, but you still get the point. Also, shield, custom sword, blah blah blah. Moving on, but makes it so that when you see that in comparison to that, there's like, this looks like somebody is wearing armor and wearing a mask, but rephrase, wearing armor with their face, whereas this looks like, can't see, whereas this looks like this is their body and this is a mask. And the kind of cool thing about Bionicle is that this was their body and this was a mask, as opposed to this is their armor and this is their face. Because you also look at the new Bionicle masks, and they don't really exactly look like masks anymore. They don't look like something that would fit on each separate Toa individually for given opportunities. It seems like it would only match one Toa for one time all the time. And also it makes it so that where I gotta credit Lego because it was a cool idea, but I don't like it, as most people don't seem to either, is that all of the masks are designed in sort of the same way, where as you look at them, it always seems like there is this headpiece plate that like seems to be surrounding the face, and it's like always the same way with every time, where everyone's got like a chin strap and something going over it, chin strap, something going over it, and then with Kopaka, same thing, chin strap going over it, and with the other ones, all the same thing, chin strap going over it. It makes it so that the what do you call it? The originality of each individual face no longer looks like their own face. It just kind of looks like they are a Bionicle and this is their face, as opposed to this is a mask which they are now wearing, and the mask was not exactly designed for that. It kind of makes it so that as the the story progresses for us old people that actually care about the story and whatnot, that read and do that sort of thing, it makes it so that the sort of character development sort of lacks because there won't be any individuality in each individual character. As for the rest of it, it kind of makes it, yeah, just going back to the whole entire proportions thing. The proportions are very different in the new ones, and it kind of makes it so that they all look the same but in a different way. As in, like, the old ones always looked the same but they were always different. These look all different but they're all the same. Not entirely sure how to describe that one, but when you look at them, you get the idea. And then, like, for instance, look at just... If we look at Urukji right here, it kind of more goes towards that sort of ratio as opposed to that sort of ratio. However, at the same time, I look at this ratio and I go, yeah, I don't like that one as good as Matanui's ratio. And my battery is about to die and my space on my phone is about to go out. And so those are my opinions, and thank you very much for watching. Post your own opinions about the new stuff in the comments below so that, you know, LEGO knows how to improve. LEGO, if I have anything to say to you, I would say kind of make torso pieces that are more designed towards the ratio of old Bionicle and kind of make it so that the heads are more designed to the old Bionicle as well. Other than that, you're doing great. Keep going. I'm sure whatever you come up with will be a lot more intelligent than what I am saying, so have a great day. I'm sure this won't actually go into anybody important, but in case it does, yes, go Greg Farshi and stuff. I don't know. Okay, bye.